comic book fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now I've got a pick of the week this week and a contest at the end, so let's get right into it, people. From Top Shelf, we have The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 1910, number 1, written by Mr. Alan Moore and art by Mr. Kevin O'Neill. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I was such a big fan of the volumes 1 and 2. Unfortunately, I don't have the absolute editions because those are really expensive. But I love the stories regardless. Black Dossier? I could have done with that. But anyway, this is an exciting new chapter of an exciting new volume. Focusing on the year 1910, we follow Mr. Thomas Carnacki, Ghost Hunter, as he gets these visions and he tells the rest of the team, which consist of Anthony Raffles, Miss Murray and Alan Quartermain, and Orlando the Ageless Warrior, as it were. The he-she, as one of them calls him. As they follow different cases, such as the reappearance of Mac the Knife and Pirate Jenny. And the thing about Pirate Jenny, or Pirate Janny in this case, is that she is the daughter of the famed captain of the Nautilus, Captain Nemo. Captain Nemo's on his deathbed, about to die, wants the Nautilus to go on. And although he doesn't have a son, he has a daughter. And even though she doesn't want the responsibilities pushed on her, at the end she comes to accept her abilities. And, well, she's now Pirate Jenny. It's a very good series. There's tons of little mysteries and little literary references scattered throughout this book. It's 80 pages, and even though it's $8, in my opinion, in this reviewer's opinion, it's worth every penny. So, if you're a fan of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or just looking for something new, check out this book. Now on to the Fast Five! First up, from Marvel, we have Cable number 14. Now in this issue, Strife has kidnapped Hope, and Cable is just going crazy, because all he thinks about is, okay, we're just going to go through there, guns blazing, and get him. It's a suicide plan, but he's that desperate to get Hope back. Meanwhile, Warpath is being tortured in front of Hope, and he's trying to keep all the attention on himself instead of Hope. Like, hey, Strife, is that all you got? Come on, give me some more. Meanwhile, at this point, Bishop is trying to backstab Strife so he can just go ahead and get his mission over with by killing this little girl. Turns out his nanobites didn't take Strife out for as long as he thought, and just as soon as he pulls the trigger to execute Hope, Strife stops the bullets and goes, "You really think you could have killed me?" Not realizing that he was actually trying to kill Hope. And at the end of the issue, Hope thinks that Strife is actually Nathan in disguise. And he's like, "Oh, Nathan, there you are!" And Strife goes, "Yeah, that's right, Nathan. I'm Nathan." So it's going to be really cool to see how Strife is going to use this to his advantage when Cable finally comes to her rescue. So it's a killer event still going on, and you should be, if you haven't already, be picking up this book. Next up from Boom Studios, we have Irredeemable number 2. Now this is the Mark Waid superhero title that you've all been hearing about. I loved issue number 1. And in this issue, we follow Kaden. Her superpowers is she can tell a ghost story and those ghosts come to help her. Well, she's trying to track down the ex-flame of the Plutonian and see if they have any information that they can use against him when they go up against him in the future. Well, Alana tells how they met, how she was working at a radio station gig and playing at a party, and because she kept a cool head evacuating people, he said, "Hey, I like you, can I go on a date?" Well, it turns out later on that in the same radio station, her co-worker is actually the Plutonian, kind of like a Clark Kent thing, except when he reveals his secret to her, like, "By the way, I'm the Plutonian," she goes and tells the entire staff. They go, "Oh, great, this is great, we've got to put it on air." He freaks out, goes over to the satellite, breaks it, says, hey, are you idiots not thinking properly? So this could have been a precursor, some early warning signs that he maybe wasn't all the way stable. But anyway, good book. I've been really liking the direction of this title. Very dark, even for Mark Waid. And if there's one person who knows superheroes, it's Mr. Mark Waid. So check it out if you have a chance. Next up, from Marvel's Max line, we have The Destroyer number 2. Now this is by Mr. Robert Kirkman, and it focuses on the Destroyer as he is about to die. He is in that old age. He knows it's coming shortly. Doctors don't give him that much longer to live. So he's vanquishing and killing all of his old enemies so they don't cause any trouble when he's dead and gone. Well, one enemy in particular he's looking for is named Scar, and no one's seen him since. but he is really looking for him so he can take care of this last thorn in his side. Well, at this time he's still employed by the government, though. He is still kicking big monstrous ass, literally monster's ass, and bad guys. But in the meantime, he's trying to still find Scar in the midst of things. Well, it turns out at the end of the issue, Scar kidnaps his daughter, and now him and his son-in-law have to go and fight Scar, because apparently he knows where he took her. So now it's the return of Destroyer and Turret, the name that his son-in-law has chosen for his costume superhero. So it wasn't as bloody and as fun as issue 1, but still, it got me hooked, and it kept me in the game. Like, okay, I can still read this. So, only 3 issues left. Will they get Scar? Tune in and find out. Next up from DC, we have Superman, World of New Krypton, number 3. Now, in this issue, there's a hostage situation going on. And if there's one person who can keep a cool head in a hostage situation, well, it's our old friend Superman. So he even depowers himself to go in and talk to the terrorists, as it were. And it's just the guild laborers. They want a spot on the union, on the board. They don't want to be pushed around anymore and treated like peasants. That's why they've kidnapped his Aunt Allura. And so there's a settlement that's reached at the end. They're leaving. Assassination attempt! But thankfully Supergirl's there because she was supposed to keep an eye out on anything suspicious. And the one who fired the shot, Gore, he was acting alone. He really wanted to kill something. And so he thinks that Kal-El has brought shame to him. So he challenges Kal-El to a duel. At the end of the issue, we find out that the Green Lanterns are going to get involved. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I'll be seeing how it goes next issue. Because, you know, in my mind, Green Lanterns are off doing their own thing. Let's leave them alone. Let's not mess with them, Rucka and Robinson. Let's just let that boat sail off. But anyway, I had fun in this issue. Great Pete Woods art. You should go check it out. And finally this week from Marvel, we have War of Kings number 3. Now, I love this series. It takes place up in space, and I love the space cosmic Marvel stuff. So, we follow the Shi'ar fleet out in space, and Emperor Vulcan's about to lose his shit and kill Lilandra. But his advisors are telling him, hey, you shouldn't do that because then she'll be a martyr to their cause. And Lilandra's protector, Gladiator, even agrees, and so they put her away in the prisoner lockup. Meanwhile, the Starjammers break aboard, and they go toe-to-toe with the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. And Gladiator is under a mind control. He doesn't realize that this is all fake. Like, Rocket Raccoon doesn't actually have a big gun aimed at him and is making him powerless. And so when he realizes this, he has to go zoom off and protect Lilandra, the one that he's sworn to serve. And so at this issue, it's revealed that Gladiator is switching sides, all for his Empress. So it's a very cool little cliffhanger like that at the end, and I can't wait to see what they do in Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, or the next issue. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, go to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can subscribe to us on the RSS feed or on iTunes. And also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you see me wearing, I'm gearing up for the Blackest Night. Are you? Head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has a ton of different comic book t-shirts from all the major companies. So if you have a specific hero in mind, just send him an email. He can whip it up lickety-split. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts. That is Kelly over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. And also this week, we have a new sponsor, my own comic book store, Rising Sun Creations. And what they do is they specialize in manga and cool collectible toys that are imported directly from Japan. And they also run a full-service U.S. comic book store. So it's the best of both worlds. I'm just in the comic book side. But anyway, if you want more information on them, go to www.rsc-online.com. And they even have an online store where you can add things into your cart and they ship it right to you. But because they're my sponsor, they have a little cool contest. They have given me to give away Stephen King's Dark Tower, The Gunslinger Reborn. If you want a copy of this bad boy, nice hardcover collecting the first 7 issues, send me an email at cammyscomiccorner@gmail.com and put in the subject line, Rising Sun Creations Contest. One winner will be chosen at random, and I will announce it on the next week of the podcast. So, thank you, Rising Sun Creations, for all that cool voodoo that you do. Well, comic book fans, that really does do it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want any more of my Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, check out my upcoming Wolverine review. It'll be on the site in a few days, sometime this weekend, I'm hoping. Because let me tell you, I've got quite a few things to say to Mr. Logan, Mr. Wolverine, Mr. Hugh Jackman. So tune in then to find out. Adios, amigos. It's Cinco de Mayo! Wait, it was a few days ago?